Hey there, Hector Daville here. I'm going to record a quick video to show you guys the London Open Breakout indicator, okay, which is a custom indicator I asked my personal programmer to code for you guys if you in case you require some extra assistance, some extra help in order to, well, gauge which currency pairs today are suitable in order to trade the London Open Breakout strategy, okay? This indicator basically runs some mathematical formulas in order to determine whether the three pre-entry requirements for the London Open Breakout strategy actually apply or not today on this specific currency pair. Remember, then you have to apply the indicator on the 1 hour time frame, since that's the setup chart for this strategy. Alright, so the indicator basically, like I say, runs some mathematical formulas under the hood in order to determine whether there is an intra-week trend in place or not, whether the Tokyo range is tight and horizontal or not, and whether the Tokyo range is located at the previous day's extreme level. Alright? If all of those are marked as yes, then the London Open Breakout well, the indicator will certainly mark a yes here as far as the London Open Breakout strategy. If any of these three are marked as a no, well, as you can see here we have two no's, okay, for the range tight and horizontal, and for the range at the previous day's extreme. If any of these three are marked as no, then the whole operation, the whole the whole filter will mark the London Open Breakout strategy as a whole as a no, meaning that today this specific currency pair, the euro against the Japanese yen, is not suitable in order to trade the London Open Breakout strategy. Okay? Anyway, let's go one by one. Intra-week trend, yes. So, what does that mean? Well, basically the indicator takes a look at the previous days, 2-3 days worth of price action, okay? By the way, this is today's price action, so the indicator takes a look at the previous 2 or 3 days, meaning this junction of the chart, in order to determine whether there is a trend in place or not. As you can see, there is indeed an uptrend, okay, for the previous 2 or 3 days, and therefore the indicator will mark is marking a yes. All right, that filter is indeed applied in the market, or is indeed valid, or does indeed apply in the market. Okay. Anyway, is the Tokyo range, last night's Tokyo range, tight and horizontal? Well, the indicator marks the Tokyo range with two horizontal blue lines. Let me actually zoom in a little bit more. There it is. So, this is the beginning of the Tokyo range, this is the end of the Tokyo range, and that's obviously the upper boundary, and this is indeed the lower boundary. Okay, so is that tight and horizontal? Well, certainly it is not, and no wonder the indicator is, it's printing a no there, right? The Tokyo range is certainly not tight, and it's certainly not, price has not been moving horizontally through the Tokyo session, right? Now, is the range located at the previous extreme, at the previous day's range? At the extreme of the previous day's range? Well, again, that's the upper boundary, that's the lower boundary, and this is the previous day's range. So certainly, that's certainly not the case. Okay, in order for the indicator to mark a yes there, the Tokyo range should have been either there or there. All right, since, well, the Tokyo range is basically all over the place, that's certainly another no. And as a whole, the London Open Breakout strategy is not to be traded on the euro against the Japanese yen today, right? Moreover, like I said before, you can see how the indicator marks the Tokyo range upper and lower boundary with dark blue lines, right? Now, as you can see, it also draws some light blue lines there, which are the continuation of the Tokyo range as the London market opens up. The London market opens up right there, okay, in this candle here. Alright, and therefore it prints the continuation of that Tokyo range, just in case you guys want to follow, if this was indeed a yes, of course, just in case you guys want to follow the typical breakout, pullback, continuation pattern to define the pullback, okay, hopefully retesting the either of the Tokyo boundaries. Alright, so at this specific moment, the Tokyo range begins. At this specific moment, the Tokyo session gives way to the London session, and the indicator will mark the first few hours of the London session. Okay, I think the indicator basically prints the light blue line for the first 2 or 3 hours of the London session, okay? Because as you know, you want to see that early breakout as soon as possible, all right? So there is no need to prolong this blue line all day long, because even if we got the breakout pullback continuation pattern well into the London session here, or even the New York session, that would not be a valid, a valid London Open breakout setup anymore. Okay, again, you want to see the breakout of the Tokyo range as early as possible in the London session. All right. So basically, this indicator will simply help you with a quick look, determining whether there is a possible London Open breakout setup or not. Okay. Now, two things that you have to keep in mind. Actually, three. First of all, this is an indicator, guys. Okay, this is not the Holy Grail. Like any other indicator, is based on mathematical formulas, and your your discretion as a trader still apply. You still want to, even if the indicator says here yes, you still want to manually kind of go through the setup as a whole, perhaps check the long-term levels of support and resistance as well, etc., etc. Basically, you want to verify and double confirm the setup as a whole, just to make sure that the indicator is indeed correct. Okay, again, the indicator is an indication, right? As its own name hints, right? It's just an indication. It's not the Holy Grail. So even if it gives you the green lights to trade the London Open breakout strategy, you still want to double confirm it from a manual point of view. Okay, now second thing you want to keep in mind, some brokers print let me actually zoom in a little bit more. Some brokers print a small daily bar there for the Sunday price action. As you guys know, the markets open up on Sunday evening instead of Monday morning, and therefore there are 2-3 hours there of price action taking place on Sunday evening. The indicator has been coded so that specific price action there is not taken into consideration, okay, because it's just too small. It's just 2 hours there, right? So the indicator will simply it will simply not take into consideration whatever is been happening through through Sunday evening. All right, so in case your broker doesn't print the Sunday bar, then no worries. If it does print the Sunday bar, that really tiny 2-hour worth a Sunday bar, well, just keep in mind that the indicator is programmed on purpose not to analyze that Sunday price action. Okay, and this is the most important thing. Number 3, as you probably know, every forex broker is obviously based in a different area in the world, right? And that means that their servers, and what's more importantly, their MetaTrader platforms, are also configured to a different world time zone, right? Some of them will be configured to London time, some others will be configured to Eastern Standard Time or New York time, etc., etc., right? Well, the indicator needs to know what's the time zone your MetaTrader platform is configured to in order to know when in the chart the indicator needs to start the Tokyo range, and obviously also when the London session starts, right, in order to define the range appropriately. Okay, So what you've got to do, simply get the cross tool and lay it over the current candle, again, in the 1 hour time frame. So as you can see, in my MetaTrader platform, right on the horizontal axis of this chart, we can see that today is the 23rd of April 2012, and it's 13 or 1 p.m. All right, 1 p.m. as per the MetaTrader platform's time. Now, obviously, in fact, it's not 1 p.m. It's 5 minutes past 1 p.m. But in the 1 hour time frame, we only get the round hours. All right, so it's 1 p.m. MetaTrader time. Now, go into Google and simply type in GMT time. All right, and Google automatically gives you the time in GMT terms right now, which is 11:06 a.m. Again, as I was mentioning before, we don't care about the minutes. Whoops, sorry about that. GMT times. We don't care about the minutes. All right, so let's just round it up and say that it's 11 a.m. GMT time. So, MetaTrader platform, or as far as the MetaTrader platform, right now it's 1 p.m. as we've just seen. Okay, in terms of GMT time, that translates to right now being 11 a.m. Okay, so to round it up, there is a 2 hour gap, a plus 2 hour gap between the MetaTrader platform and the GMT. MetaTrader is 2 hours ahead of GMT. Okay, so I simply go into my indicator and I right click, go into indicators list, I mark the London Open Breakout indicator, click on edit, and here, as I've already done so, we have to enter 2, because again, like I said before, there is a 2 hour gap between my my MetaTrader platform and GMT times. Okay, MetaTrader 2 hours ahead of GMT. Now, if my MetaTrader platform was in fact 2 hours behind GMT, I would simply enter here -2. All right, as simple as that. If MetaTrader is ahead GMT, leave it in positive. If MetaTrader is behind GMT, simply enter the value in negative. That's it, as simple as that.
Now, remember that some forex brokers change their time depending on whether we are in summertime or winter time. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the time switch happens in March and October, right? So that means that if your broker does alter the timing, again, depending on whether we are in winter or summertime, you will have to edit the time settings manually yourself twice a year, actually. Now, the reason as of why I haven't automated this time change is because, well, some different MetaTrader brokers do observe summertime changes, whereas some others don't, right? And since I don't know which specific broker you are using, and well, obviously I don't know whether that specific broker does observe summertime or not, you will have to do it manually. Again, just twice a year, takes 5 minutes of your time, actually 5 seconds of your time, and you know, that way you will always keep your indicator time settings accurately.
Anyway, let me now show you the London Open Breakout Scanner, which is basically the same thing as the London Open Breakout Indicator, but you get to see the general outlook of the London Open breakout strategy on all the different currency pairs within one single chart window. Okay, let's go step by step. As you freshly attached the London Open Breakout Scanner in your chart, you may not be able to read the indicator properly. Okay, don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to change that. Now, before we get started, please mind that you are to attach the scanner also to the 1 hour time frame. It doesn't matter the currency pair, okay, it doesn't matter, it can be the euro against the American dollar, the sterling pound against the American dollar, it doesn't matter. Just make sure it's the 1 hour time frame. So, in order to make the chart window and the indicator readable, simply right click on the chart. Actually, let me push this up a little bit. Simply right click here, browse down to properties, then on the colors tab, turn all these different fields to white. Okay, so click on there and select white, which is this color here at the bottom right corner. Okay, so that's white, white, white. Just 1 second, guys. This is going to take a few seconds. There it goes. Another one. And another one. We are almost there. And we are done. Now, at the common tab, take the line chart just because it's easier to read, and make sure all of these fields are unticked. Okay, all of them remain or should remain unticked. Click on OK, and there you go. Now you get to see the the indicator much better. All right. Actually, let me also remove the. It's good. So the information you get on the scanner is exactly the same as what you get on the individual indicator. For example, if we were looking before into the euro against the Japanese yen, all right, the euro against the Japanese yen is right here. Okay, so we have 3 columns. Each column obviously represents the 3 pre-entry requirements, and 1 final column for the London Open breakout strategy as a whole, just as we have 4 different lines here, right? So, is there any intra-week trend on the euro against the Japanese yen? Yes, it is. We have a green dot there, right? Obviously, green dot means yes, red dot means no, right? Is the range tight and horizontal? I mean, the Tokyo range? No, it is not, which is why we get a red dot there. Is the Tokyo range located at the previous day's extreme? No, it is not, which again is that's why we get a red dot. And since at least one of these values are set to no, the London Open breakout as a whole is also no. Okay, which again signifies a or prints a red dot at the scanner window. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to get down to is that you get exactly the same information, but in a much more comfortable format, because all you have to do is to minimize that scanner window, place it, or simply push it to the corner of your MetaTrader platform, and that's it. You can use all these real estate window to place your standard charts, and here in the corner you can see you can simply leave the scanner running. Okay, so every morning as the London market opens up, just take a quick look to see if there is any specific any specific currency pair printing a red dot, and if so, you may get a London Open breakout opportunity in that specific currency pair. Okay, very, very convenient. Now, just as we did with the individual indicator, we have to tell the scanner what's the gap between your MetaTrader platform's time and GMT time. Okay, so again, right click, go into indicators list, edit the London Open breakout scanner, and simply here at the GMT server value, well, change that to 2, 3, etc., etc. Okay, depending on your MetaTrader platform. Now, there are 2 more fields that you may have to configure: the symbol prefix and the symbol suffix. As you know, guys, MetaTrader, or actually some MetaTrader platforms, change the name of the currency pair from the standard euro against the American dollar to euro against the American dollar, and then they add a little suffix here at the end, such as, for example, euro American dollar M or euro American dollar XXX. I don't really know why some specific currency, when some specific MetaTrader platforms actually add that prefix or suffix. I have no idea why they do that, but they do, some of them at least. So, if you see that your MetaTrader platform labels the euro against the American dollar as euro against the American dollar M, for example, here at the suffix, simply double click and type in an M there, and that's it. All right. My specific MetaTrader doesn't, so I leave it empty. Okay. And down here you can toggle true or false all the different currency pairs. My advice is that you only keep to only set to true those currency pairs that are suitable for the London Open breakout strategy. That means all the euro crosses and the sterling pound crosses, but the euro against the sterling pound and the euro against the CHF. Okay, so all the currency pairs suitable for the London Open breakout strategy, toggle them to true, and all the rest leave them to false right there. Okay. And that's basically it. That's how you configure the scanner. Like I said before, a very, very convenient way of keeping track. As the London market opens up, just take a quick look into this scanner indicator. Okay, see if there is any specific green dot in this column here. If so, pull out that specific chart in the 1 hour time frame and start searching for London Open breakout setups. Okay, if you see that all of them remain in red, well, then you know that chances are that you will not get a London Open breakout setup for the rest of the day. Okay, what I personally do is to simply pull out my scanner once a day, again, as the London market kicks off, all right, or maybe right before, perhaps a few minutes before the London market opens up. I take a quick look, see if any specific currency pair may give me an opportunity or not, and if yes, well, then I monitor those currency pairs for the rest of the day, or at least for the first few hours of the London session. If not, I simply switch into the into the market flow strategy, into the part-time strategy, into the long-term strategy, and basically search for trading opportunities using other trading systems. Okay? All right, guys, that's all. Cheers. Bye-bye.